Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. On this episode of Ridge Runner Garage, another reason why I should stay off marketplace. I bought a 1980 Dodge D100 and it doesn't run. But we're gonna try to get it running, see if we can drive it, maybe even clean it up, get it back on the road. I got on marketplace, found ourselves a 1980 Dodge D100. It's got the slant 6, a 3-speed I think. So far all I've done is I have pushed on the fan and know that the motor turns over. I checked the oil and there isn't any, so that's great. Right now, this is my buddy Bill from New York. Say hi to everybody.
Howdy.
I figured while I was here visiting I'd talk him into some free labor. What do you think of my my purchase here?
It's very nice. Very nice.
He's questioning my judgment. Here, let's go take a look at this thing. Sorry, the compressor's running in the background. It is one of my favorite front ends for a Dodge. I love these 4 headlight looking trucks. It has been sitting for, I think, a total of 7 years. And I see that because there is a couple stickers on the back of this thing here. And there is a August 2017 sticker up here, and I don't really know about that plate. I probably should hide that. The previous owner, I'm told, actually passed away. We bought the truck from his brother, and it's just been sitting in the side yard. You'll notice the antenna up here, and I guess the guy was into two-way radio stuff. So it's got some pretty elaborate CB, which might look good in my Jeep or something like that. I got the old Harley Davidson mic on there, huh? Anyway, I don't know what that is. I don't know what this stuff does. Is this a light of some kind? Huh, some sort of red strobe in there. Anyways, that's what the inside looks like. And like we were talking about earlier, there's this, it has mold and moss and stuff on it because it's been sitting around so long. Right now, all the tires, we're all flat, but they've got these wagon wheels on them. I think we might be able to clean these up a little bit. Maybe we can paint them white or something like that. All right, let's take a look at what we've got under the hood here. The slant 6, everybody loves, says you can't kill. The alternator looks like it's newer, and the starter doesn't really look that old either. And I did check, and it does turn, so that's a bonus for us. But the oil, unfortunately, and there is a little bit of something there, but you know, it smells really, 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 really old. So got some sort of a air compressor here going maybe to some rear shocks or something. I don't know what this other, oh, that looks like it's been chewed off or melted. The wiring, it's typical Dodge, but I've actually seen worse. This scares me a little bit though. This isn't on all the way. I don't know what's going on under this thing here. Oh, okay. I think we're probably good. That doesn't look bad at all. It's a single barrel something or other. Carter. I think they used a little bit of everything on these things depending on what they needed. So I've got a battery for this thing. I don't really know why this thing's got 2 batteries. I'm assuming it had to do something with the guy's shortwave radio, you know, two-way radio idea, but we're gonna work on getting some air in the tires, and I think we might even actually just take a shot in the dark, think maybe the engine probably does run. Slant sixes, they were hard to kill. And I actually just dumped the oil and start right off fresh because it doesn't have enough oil in it. There's no sense in just topping off what's there if we're gonna change the oil anyways. So what do you think? Carburetor's not frozen up or anything?
All the linkage works.
Being that it sat so long, I was thinking about pulling the plugs out just to be on the safe side.
I'll pull the plugs out, you drop the oil.
All right. Real quick, let's take a look at the rest of the stuff that's in here. This is what was left in the back. You don't have a whole lot of call for coat racks on this out, but there's a coat rack in there. Get some sort of wooden box. Shears. You'd probably make something cool out of those. Looks like that's an older bee's nest. Little bees in here. We got a lot of interesting stuff back here. Got some stuff for the weed eater, dude, clarinet.
Play us a tune.
It's good stuff. I don't think it's a good one, but well, that's cool. Oh, ball peen hammer. Handle's not the greatest, but we can make something up out of it. Wire brush, that's always good to have. Oh, what do we got here? Mileage plus engine controls. It's a headlight switch, high-low switch with floor switch. So there was a problem with that. Oh, we got drill bits and all kinds of goodies back here. Yeesh. Thanks. What do we got here? Is that the first spark plug?
That's the first spark plug.
Holy moly, that's been in there a while.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wow. Well, there's no rust on it, so that's good. Must be why it's low on oil, because this was not very tight. This is all leaking back here. Hopefully there's oil in it. Let's see what we got here.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah, that's just got regular oil in it. Doesn't look bad at all. I mean, it's blacker than black though.
Sure.
Let's get the cap and rotor out of there. What kind of condition's that thing in?
Not horrible.
That's not so bad.
No.
These are the spark plugs that came out of her.
That's it.
Let's take a look at these. Well, the first one was pretty bad. Second one's...
Well, at least they're not wet and shiny, so that means...
Yeah. I've seen worse, but they're definitely old.
That is old.
Oof. Might be a little bit of an oil burner.
That might be. Or real fat one, real rich.
Rotor, how's the rotor look?
Yeah, decent.
Yeah, that was probably usable, but I mean, if we're taking it on, I mean, I got new stuff anyways. I don't know if this thing's gonna run, but I have pretty good I have confidence that it will. Sure. Let's go grab a bag of stuff. Here's what we got for boxes of parts. I didn't know what carburetor it had on there, but there was a choice of 3, so I got those. Got plugs, cap, rotor, oil filter, fuel filter, wires, a pump. Oh, and did I mention this has 2 fuel tanks in it, and they are they the plastic ones? I didn't even think to look. Yep, that is plastic. Is the back one plastic? Kind of looks metal from here. Nope, that's plastic. Pretty neat. Yeah, factory dual tanks. Well, it doesn't smell like anything. So it's either, yeah, it must be empty. How about this one? Again, it really doesn't smell like anything. I mean, a whiff of old gas, but it doesn't smell like old, varnishy, old, you know, the nasty smelling stuff that you kind of get when fuel gets really, really old. It smells kind of like rotten eggs-ish. It's pretty bad. So at least we won't have rust, but there is an issue with the plastic tanks when they sit. The plastic tanks, they'll tend to deteriorate as well, and the fuel you'll get out of, you notice, will be black. That'll plug filters up. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll just be black fuel for a while and it'll start to clean out, and other times it'll just be this gooey sludge that just plugs everything up. So
I don't remember batteries being ever that being that heavy.
the end of a hot day.
Yeah. Okay.
The ignition kind of feels like it's frozen or something. Probably got a rat turd in it. Yeah, probably. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Hold it. Let me check for spark. No spark coming from the coil.
No spark coming from the coil?
No.
All right, well, guess tomorrow I'll bring my power probe and figure out what.
Could be a bad coil.
Could be a bad coil, could be voltage over there. Actually, hang on a second. I got voltage here.
No spark coming from out of the coil through the distributor. There was no spark.
Okay. So we probably need a coil then. Hey, so it's the next day, and reason why we had to wait till the next day is because, well, we needed a coil. Went to the auto parts store, got a coil, got the correct oil filter, and also got some gasoline for this thing. So up in here, somewhere's in that rust oily looking spot down there, there is an ignition coil. So I'm gonna get this cleaned off, get this coil changed, get this filter changed, and we're gonna try this again. Well, it looks like the coil's been replaced before. Excellent. That's probably why it doesn't work. All right, so we got our new coil hooked up, and right now we're gonna see if we got spark. Go ahead, turn it over. Hold on. I don't see anything here. Try it again. All right, now we got spark. All right, let me hook this stuff up and spray some brake clean in here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me tighten up the bolts that are falling off this thing here real quick. Just the carburetor's falling off, no big deal. Yeah. The bolts are like wicked loose. Oh yeah, wicked's a weird word down here for these southern people.
Wicked? Yeah.
They don't say it.
Really?
Yeah, it's a northern thing. Yeah, that was my wallet after overtime. We'll get that stuff later. All right. Some brake clean. See what happens, man. Hey! Starter stuck on.
Fuel filter?
No. Good. Well, see if it'll start again. Go ahead. Oh. Let me go over and look at the fuel filter. There is nothing in that fuel filter. Give her a try again. All right, nothing, no fuel coming up, so we probably need a fuel pump. How about that, man? Yes. Got it running. Okay. After a little research, check it out. So this is what was hooked to the fuel pump. And I noticed there's another line here, metal line. So, I crawl under the truck, follow a rubber line, and back in here, which you can't really see all that well, but there's a switching valve, which is great, except for that rubber line runs all the way back to this fuel tank back here. But we didn't pour gas in this one. We took all our gas and poured it in that one.
No, we didn't do all the gas.
And I'm guessing we didn't do all the gas. No. Not just me, but I'm guessing that's probably why they're not using that tank anymore. Huh. All right, here we go. Aha, see? No gas in my mouth either.
Nice.
Yeah, that wasn't stuff I learned when I was a kid. Run number 2 of the fuel tank that supposedly should work. All right, go ahead.
Got nothing.
No power, no nothing? Huh. This is all hooked up still.
Got nothing. Zero.
Nada.
No lights, no nothing.
All right. Here, turn the headlights on.
Got nothing. No juice. Zero. No lights, nothing.
Oh, what the heck, man? We're back another day working on the 1980 Dodge. Well, as you saw a few minutes ago in the video that we actually had this running, unfortunately, now it has no power. So first thing I'm doing here is I spent a little time cleaning up the battery, cleaning up the connections, disconnected all this other stuff that was in this, disconnected that battery from the alternator, and right now we got our power probe lit. We've got our main wire goes to this style of relay that Dodge has here, some sort of starter relay thing. We got power there. So which means we should have power on that wire, and we're good there. I got rid of, disconnected this box, whatever this thing does, and then all this wiring and stuff going to the inside's not all hooked up now. So we'll eventually cut that stuff out and obviously clean up vacuum lines and things like that. But I want to get it running again, if possible, whatever's going on. So let's move on to the inside, find out why we don't have any power. And I have a pretty good idea. It's the ignition switch, because the ignition switch does not spring back. Let's see what we can find here. What's the ignition switch in a Dodge like? Thing has a lot of extra wires floating around in it. A lot of wires in it. Check this out. This is the back of the instrument cluster. This is the main power wire, and it's loose. That is our short. Ah, dome lights on. All right. I'm assuming we have ignition power. Is that lights on now? It says fasten belt. All right, so okay. Still not it. So no spark, and we're putting a new coil on. Does this somehow seem familiar to anybody? Like maybe I just put one on here just recently. I mean, I was a little bit aggressive putting that on. I'm guessing that's why it doesn't work anymore. All right, guys, here's where we're at. So obviously you see my wiring disaster over here. I've cleaned actually some of it up. I got rid of that harness right there. It was going to all this emission stuff, which that's just going in the dumpster. We're not ever going to use that stuff. So I thought I had a bad coil. The reason I thought that is I got my power probe hooked up, wherever my power probe is. Somewhere's over here, wherever, down here. And the key's on, and I have got power there, and I got power on the other side. And as I turn the engine over, even though I'm not getting spark, it's, you know, flashing and fluttering. So I thought I had a bad coil. And to be honest with you, well, I mean, I kind of just jammed the coil into the holder because the holder was too small. So, and if you take anything away from that, is to don't jam your coil into places it doesn't belong. But the new coil is smaller, and it's now it's not smashed in there. I could probably save that. It probably still works. And so what you've got is you've got a distributor that's got a Hall effect sensor. Those wires go over to this ignition box over here. This ignition box in turn sends a ground signal to the coil. So what do you make of that? Nothing on the meter? Nothing if I'm turning it over. I mean, the voltage changes. I don't want to just go changing this ignition box and not have it be the problem. So it's day, I don't know, what is it, day 4 of messing around with this thing, maybe in the 5th day. Anyways, last night I went and bought a distributor, and I was able to use the meter to figure out what's probably wrong with the one that we have, or maybe able to adjust the one that we have. So this morning I came out, and there's a bunch of these little ants crawling around everywhere in this thing. So I don't know where they came from, and of course I need to get there. So bye ants. Oh wow, look at that back there. where they all came from, but they're all gone now. So I'm gonna see if I can adjust this sensor on this distributor here, if I can get you guys in there. And that's what I'm gonna do today, or replace the distributor. I'm trying to, I don't know. And the fuel pump, as much as we've had this turned over, is the filter still bone dry, so I guess I'm going to put a fuel pump in it as well, which I kind of figured. Even if we got this fuel pump to work, because it's been sitting so long, the fuel pump's just it's just not going to live. It's gonna crap out at some point. Probably the way I'm driving it around. I don't want that to happen, so we're definitely putting a pump on it. So I got my ohm meter ready here, and I'll show you guys. I'll try to adjust this first, then I'll show you guys my results if at all possible. So hold on a second. All right. So what I did is I adjusted this little screw down here and made the, I guess, that little sensor a little closer to the tone ring by that little flathead screw. Now we have voltage when we're turning this over. That we didn't have before. We'll see if we got spark. That's more than enough gas. All right. Let's see if it'll start. All right. Oh, the wire gets hot quick. Come on, she's a little flooded. Man, there should be fuel in that carburetor by now. From filling up the bowl, I mean. And as you can see, bone dry. Well, fuel pump it is. Alright, so everything's on. Here we go. Let's see if we can. Oh, it's starting to get some fuel in her finally. Well, it sure is taking a while. I don't know if you guys can see that. Finally starting to get a little fuel in there. And it's only running off this bottle. Guess we're going through the carburetor. I did get a carburetor kit, so actually I got 3 carburetor kits because I didn't know which one this would take. So, alright, well, is what it is. Here we go again. I didn't actually need a kit for this carburetor. All I needed to do was kind of clean it out. The needle and seat was stuck for sure, so. And fortunately, the choke was all rotted out, so may have to just put a manual choke on this thing for now, but let's get it running again and see if it sucks up fuel. Gasoline, whatever. Let's look up the battery. Try that. All right, here we go. Not idling though. Smoking a little. It's been running it for so long. Valve stem seals, rings, they'll seat in. Hopefully it'll clear up. It's probably, I think the odometer says it's got like 30,000 miles, so it's probably 230 for all I know. So it's living though. Pretty excited about that. I'm gonna get in and shut it off. I don't want to let it run any longer, so I don't think it has much coolant in it, if any at all. Oh, that's never good. Oh, okay. Where's that coming from? That's not good. That's not good. So it's that connector that I tightened up yesterday. Always something. I don't know what to do. See if I can. I guess I'm gonna have to pull that dash back out of this thing. Might have to see if I can find one online or find out why that's getting so hot. So I took the instrument cluster out to find out what was going on. Turns out it's actually a big issue with these old Dodge trucks. These bolts, or these studs come loose. It's just studs kind of pressed to the copper and they come loose on the alternator gauge here. And what happens is obviously loose connections create heat. So what I'm gonna do here to fix this is this. I'm gonna cut both these wires off and just bypass the alternator gauge. So if it's not charging, I'll kind of figure it out as I go. I don't really, the lights will be dim, so on and so forth. If somebody wants to put an aftermarket set of gauges in here, let them put an aftermarket set of gauges in here and figure it out that way. But we don't need this thing catching fire, obviously, so we're just gonna bypass it. All right, now that that's back together. Oh, and by the way, we've got it pretty good. Check this out. This tank holds coolant. These are usually broken, so that's kind of cool. It only took about half a gallon of coolant. It was pretty full. I'm gonna start this up and let it run for a little while, just to, I guess, see what happens, see if anything else kind of catches fire. Pretty good. Definitely gonna get rid of this thing. And this pump sounds horrible, doesn't it? This pump. Also, the power steering's doing a good job of leaking. You can see it dripping under there. We'll fix that later once we pressure wash this thing, get it cleaned up. Check that out. A little crack in the frame right there. Huh. Back to the steering box, so who knows, but it does need to be fixed and reinforced. The detention strut here does go up there, so I'll fix that. The other side doesn't look to be broken. Wow, it's running. Oh, you know what? Another thing that's exciting, it feels like it's got brakes. Or at least I think it does. Then check the fluid. Feels like it's got a clutch. Well, that's cool. Doesn't really seem to be smoking anymore either. All that old bad gas kind of burned off it. Let's see if we can fiddle around the carburetor on this thing a little bit. And I'd like to get it off the trailer and go for a ride. At least take it around the block if possible. Here we go. There's only one thing left to do. Now that it's running and it's moving, we need to take it for a drive. Let's be a little cautious because obviously we have a wiring nightmare. But I think we can at least take it around the block. Here we go, clutch in. Fires right up. 3-speed, so back towards the seat here is first. At least I believe that's it. Here we go. This is fantastic. Well, the power steering doesn't work that well because we're running out of fluid, but that's okay. Driving down for the road for the first time in at least 7 years, if not longer. Boy, the tires are square. Shifter is super sloppy. I don't know for sure, but I'm kind of thinking there's something broken in there. The steering's sloppy. It's got brakes, but you can tell they're hard, so probably the wheel cylinders in the back are frozen. Boy, the tires are square. This thing's thump, 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 thump. Wow. It runs pretty good, though. You can't see anything out of that windshield. That's horrible. No gauges are working, so I don't know if it's overheating. It doesn't, I don't think it is. I don't know if it's charging. The speedometer's working though. It's kind of bouncing around, but it's working. And it won't idle very well. There's something about the step on the carburetor. For some reason, when the choke's off a little bit, it doesn't want to idle. I don't know if the link just is not in right. I'm not sure. So, but we'll figure that out. Now that it's on the ground, it's kind of hard to work on the trailer, but I don't have a lot of room, so there's space to park the trailer, there's a space to put the truck, so plus I have that old Crown Vic chassis out back that I've got to find another body for. Oh, is it? The cops? Oh, okay. Oh, nope, we're good. Oh. Shouldn't worry, some kids riding a dirt bike around the neighborhood. Go back here in the side yard for now. That's awesome. Runs and drives after sitting for 7 years. Well, I say 7 years. There's a sticker on it, so I'm assuming it's 7 years. We're gonna work on getting it cleaned out, getting all the crap, or getting all the stuff that's out of it, getting all the wiring taken out of it. Try to find a place where you can throw all this stuff away, clean up the outside, figure out that idle, and maybe lube up the doors, things along those lines. Check the rear differential, see if there's anything I could do as far as tightening up that shifter. Thing's pretty cool. Oh, and I wanted to put front bumper on this thing. What do you think one of those front bumpers costs? The only one I found on eBay, $2 grand. They paid less than that for the truck. So in the next video, we're gonna actually wash this thing, get it all cleaned up, maybe bend this bumper out a little bit, maybe make it look a little better if it's all possible. Yeah, this is gonna be a great pressure washing video. Anyways, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, always appreciated. It's all I got time for this video, and thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.